In 2025, a mysterious utopian company has built a dark empire that only serves the powerful. They kidnap women from all over the world, remove their memories, make them fall into a deep coma, then use future technology to create human-like puppets and use the coma host as a remote-controlled puppet controller to entertain their clients. The CIA agent Xiao Shui originally planned to marry his fiancée Xiao Mei, but was forced to postpone it because of the task of the Army Department. Xiao Mei was very angry with this. After all, Xiao Shui had almost lost his life. Xiao Shui still took off his wedding dress and set out for the battlefield. 3 weeks later, when the King of War returned, he suddenly found his fiancée missing. Did that woman run away? The cat was not taken away, and all the money was gone. Fortunately, after a thorough investigation, it was not a terrible thing. It was just that Xiao Mei was kidnapped. What do you say? Men are most afraid of women running away with money. Everything else is a trifle. I will definitely avenge you. But if you dare to run away with money, I will definitely not let you go. Xiao Shui soon locked up a recruit who seduced young women everywhere and decided to talk to him face to face. In order to expose the organization behind the recruit, Xiao Shui asked the technical expert Jean to use his excellent technology to lock up data and dig deep clues. When a recruit appeared as promised and began to set up a new target, Xiao Shui moved forward, disguised as a friend, and lured him into the store. He didn't say anything but didn't expect this little guy to be a tough guy. No matter how humiliated and beaten, he refused to eat. At a critical moment, Jean used technical means to lock up the secret location of the Uyghur. He quickly applied for Xiao Shui's new ID on the internet, Mr. Thomas Weiss. Xiao Shui drove to the mysterious Uyghur and immediately flew to identify himself. Only those disguised as rich have the opportunity to enter the Uyghurs' territory. After identifying himself, Xiao Shui finally drove to the mysterious place. Welcome to the 5-star Uyghur International Charity Foundation of Mr. Thomas Weiss. A beautiful woman smilingly welcomed him. The beautiful woman in a Chinese dress was ready to provide services at any time. In the 2,000-acre area, the medieval Roman-style buildings intersected with the scenic scenes of the Second World War. The style was luxurious and strange, but Xiaoose doesn't want to appreciate it. His eyes have to sweep past every corner, full of the idea of looking for his wife Xiao Mei. And in the back, a group of carefully dressed women are waiting. Xiao Mei is eager to hunt. At this time, her eyes are empty, her eyes are dilated, as if she had lost her soul. Xiaoose just stepped into the Utopia heaven. He was soon spotted by Lao Baozi and Beak. Beak scanned the records of the lost man on the local file. He mistook Xiaoose as a client looking for emotional substitutes. He immediately, enthusiastically selected the perfect woman who only entered the enhanced chip. He emphasized that he could customize every detail according to the client's needs. Just when Beak was about to fly, Xiaosui's eyes were suddenly locked by a familiar figure from afar. It was Xiao Mei, but when he turned his head, his eyes were as cold as strangers. At this time, the bald angel investor came in. He hugged Xiao Mei's waist arrogantly. Beak's low voice reminded him that he had the highest priority. Xiao's could only hold his fist tightly, watching Xiao Mei disappear behind a carving door. The face-to-face NTR belongs to the world. Xiao's is still a little excited, but in order to find out the truth of the chip control, he put on a uniform of the second stage simulation film set and got into this area where the nobles were looking for excitement. He even knew that only the old gold who had been a hacker for 16 years in the military could crack this consciousness-controlling technology. When thinking about it, a golden-haired beauty took the initiative to fight. When Xiao's tried to find out where he came from, the girl spoke first and left Paris. I don't remember. This unusual move made Xiao's nervous. Before he had time to ask, the cold electronic sound suddenly rang out. Good morning, Mr. Weiss. Today is a new day in the utopian heaven. When a morning came, the knock on the door rang out. The person who came was the security captain of the Utopian. He seemed to have seen Xiao's somewhere, but Xiao's strongly denied it. I never forget a face. At this time, the founder of the Utopian, Mr. Dalla, was personally receiving potential angel investors. Facing Zhao Sui, who came out to blow up, he passionately described the Utopians' magnificent blueprint. Zhao tried to find out the truth of the girl's transformation, but was discredited by Mr. Dalla for commercial secrets. The other party insisted that only investors could access the core technology. At the same time, the security team found encrypted communication that had not been authorized by the internal security police. In this place where the signal is all blocked, the unauthorized communication is equivalent to the invasion of spies. The captain identified that there were commercial spies, led the team to search. Who knows? This is the launcher Zhao Sui put in advance. The man who used to shake Xiaomei's feet became an angry sheep in a hurry and was cruelly snubbed by the captain. Zhao Sui realized that he had to act immediately. He found Xiaomei with the equipment and was ready to find a place to hide to restore his memory. However, this scene happened to be hit by a bald investor. "Dare to rob my woman," the bald man shouted coldly, and immediately called for help. The three of them took off their suits in tacit agreement. In the Utopian, fighting must also maintain a gentleman's demeanor. In the chaos, Sui's head was hit hard, and there was a cloud of gold in front of him. The development of the legs was almost unstable, but the instinct of survival and the concern for his wife made him explode with amazing strength. The strong man subdued the opponent, and the bald man was knocked down by his sword. He walked slowly and thought that Zosai had lost his ability to resist, but he didn't expect the action of this light enemy to directly send himself to a dead end. Zhao Osai caught the broken station and hit the bald man with a backhand. Zhao Osai ran out of the room in a hurry. Fortunately, Xiaomei appeared in time and took him to the danger zone. When Zhao Osui woke up in Xiaomei's room, he didn't care about the pain on his body and immediately contacted Jean. He planned to use brain scanning to find a way to awaken Xiaomei's real memory. However, the scanning device had just been activated, and a signal was captured in the monitoring room. "I found the signal source." Jin's excited voice turned into a panic. "No, they're tracking this signal. You must leave immediately." He planned to use brain scanning to find a way to awaken Xiaomei's real memory. However, the scanning device had just been activated, and a signal was captured in the monitoring room. "I found the signal source." Jin's excited voice turned into a panic. "No, they're tracking the signal. You must leave immediately." Zhao Sai stood up, took Xiaomei to the security team, and successfully escaped to the hideout. Before being surrounded, Jean used the advanced hacker technology to invade the base monitoring system, shut down all devices, and fight for time for the escape of two people. After analyzing the brain scan of Xiaomei, he determined the signal source came from the underground area of the base. At this time, the Uyghur base had already sounded the alarm of Tsar. All entrances were completely blocked. Just when Zhao Sui was staring at the door, Xiaomei took the initiative to walk forward. The door system recognized her identity and sent a signal to welcome Xiaomei back. After entering the base, Zhao Osai saw a shocking scene. Countless girls were lying there motionless. At first, he thought they were hypnotized. After careful observation, he found that these were actually copycats. Just when he was shocked, the security guards found traces of two people and shot at them without hesitation. Zhao Osai hurriedly pulled Xiaomei to hide in the corner. As soon as it happened, Jean sent the latest signal source location map and the relentless security guards, but in the absence of defense, other beautiful women who had suddenly appeared attacked from behind, losing their ability to move. It turned out that these girls who had regained some of their memories had already recognized their kidnapping. They began to self-indulge in counterattacking the kidnappers. Zhao Ai led the three beautiful women who had regained some of their memories towards the signal source. When they stepped out of the elevator and climbed up the rusty iron shelf, the scene in front of them was chilling. The iron shelves used to be lined up with secret sleeping women. The number was beyond imagination. Every girl closed her eyes like a sleeping doll. Suddenly, Zhao Sui found a shocking detail. The black girl in the team stared at a figure in the iron shelf. The sleeping girl looked exactly like him. The black girl trembled and looked up. Their faces, hairstyles, and even the birthmarks on their bodies were exactly the same. What was even more shocking was that Zhao Suai saw on a device that one of the girls had been asleep for 2 years and 4 months. At this moment, the truth was as cold as water. These were all copies. Xiaomei was no exception. We were all wrong. Zhao Suai's voice was hoarse. They were kidnapped and then copied. It was not controlled by AI, but let the real person control their own copies for a while. Just like when the body is asleep, it can also maintain basic functions. Although they figured out that their wife was kidnapped, Zhao Suai was confused about these copies. If you want to save the trapped real person, you have to interrupt the information flow of the machine. But after the interruption, where should the fate of the copies go? In the shadow of a row of sleeping, Zhao Suai finally found the real Xiaomei. He rushed to the control panel, pressed the wake-up program, and started. As the blue light flashed, Xiaomei's eyelashes shivered slightly. However, at the moment when the hope was ignited, the alarm sounded. The security guards, in full uniform, were already holding guns. The gun of the copied Xiaomei suddenly stopped. Zhao Suai's brain. Let him stop, or I will die. Zhao Suai tried to explain, if you die, you die. You are a fake. If you didn't die, who will die? But the other party firmly believed that he was the real Xiaomei. Other Xiaomei died. I have to live. As soon as it happened, the founder of Mutu Gang, Mr. Dana, arrived with his people. He coldly ordered to turn off the wake-up program of Xiaomei and let the security captain take Zhao Suai away. How can Zhao Suai wait? While the guard was not ready, he dodged the weapon like lightning. 2 shots to solve the opponent and saved a beautiful woman's copy. After the breakthrough, he rushed straight to the control center of the security system. In the middle of the road, the opponent was still screaming, "Don't grab my woman," but Zhao nailed him to the pillar. Arriving at the control center, Zhao Suai quickly inserted the launchers. Another period of time. Jean was crazy to destroy the system. Suddenly a bomb rolled down. I quickly threw it away. The smoke did not disperse. The copy of Xiaomei appeared, trying to prevent the system from being destroyed. At a critical moment, Jean successfully invaded the system, and the sleeping human connected to wake up. What is shocking is that the copies still have the ability to move. It turns out that they can still operate independently when they are out of human consciousness. This is something that the founder, Dana, did not expect. It was an unexpected surprise. Excited to let his subordinates slaughter all humans, the copy of Xiaomei's gun pointed at Zhao Suai again. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Xiaomei, who had really woken up, arrived and pulled the trigger, ended this exciting confrontation. It turns out that the copy is also a flesh and blood individual. Zhao Suai's heart is heavy, but the most important thing now is to send his wife, Xiaomei, and other rescued beauties out of this nightmare. He escorted everyone to the safe exit, but he had one more thing to do: turn around and return to the base. Zhao Suai's eyes were cold. He wanted to find Captain Onbao to settle the accounts. Following the route in his memory, he found the captain after a fierce spiritual struggle. The captain fell to his death. Zhao breathed a sigh of relief, wiped the blood on his face, and finally ended this grudge. After reuniting with his wife, Zhao Suai led everyone to successfully escape from the Utopia base. And the founder standing on the top of the tower, Mr. Nana, saw all this, but only smiled coldly. He turned around and faced the screen behind him. The data on the top of the screen proves that without human host, the copy technology can still operate independently. At this time, a man in a suit walks over, staring at the screen. I like your technology. Get ready to fully support the next stage of the Utopia plan. Mr. Nana's mouth raised a smile that meant a lot. The era of the large-scale mixing of human and copy products is about to begin.